Good evening and welcome. My name is Paul Nix. I'm the founder of the Time Repair Corporation, and I'm here to talk to you this evening about lifelong learning, which is one of the core components of the Finnish educational system. It's one of the reasons that they've had so much success over the years, and it all boils down to 7 core principles or competencies. Now, the idea is that these concepts, they come together and allow a student to continue to apply and practice the things that they're learning throughout their lifetime. So, effectively, step 1 is learning how to think and learn. I know that sounds a little conceited, but there are critical ways of looking at problems that are not necessarily common sense and that haven't been common sense in the educational system and practice in North America and throughout the world for a long time. Our system has been focused on churning out people who think the same way and can do a job sitting at a desk for 8 hours at a time. We don't need that the same way we used to, because a lot of the main jobs that are coming up in the future are being roboticized. We need people who are going to design, who are going to be critical thinkers, people who are going to be looking deeper into problems. And so, being able to think critically and to approach problems from lots of different angles, being able to look at those problems as being something not black and white, but with a lot of shades of gray and complexity, that is absolutely necessary. So, step 1, thinking and learning how to learn. The next core competency is cultural competence and interaction and self-expression. I know, again, this sounds kind of simple, but when we interact with others, we can learn so much more and we can change the way that we perceive those problems. Again, this is one of the core methods of really getting outside of the box and growing, is by seeing how other people have done things, learning from their experience, their cultural background, the differences that make us stronger. So this is the second of those core competencies. The third is taking care of oneself, which I know that sounds kind of simple, but with the rates of anxiety and depression that exist in this day and age, it could be something that we spend a little more time on. That basic sort of emotional support for oneself and bolstering of one's own ideas and expressions. It's key to what we're going to be doing in the future, which is creating a new world. Right now, we're facing amazing sustainability disasters, but we have all of the tools we need to come through them and build that beautiful world together. So, one of those things that we need is learning how to take care of oneself and address daily activities. Simple stuff. But this is a part of how the Finnish curriculum is put together. It's all meant to sort of start addressing these components. So that was the third, taking care of oneself, managing daily activities. The fourth one is multiliteracy, or phenom-based education. So when you have a complex real-world problem, let's say climate change, you've got something that is huge. It's the kind of problem that no one person or company or country can start to deal with on their own. It's complex. It's got a lot of internal factors. When you try to fix it, there are a lot of different groups that have, very strong opinions about it and should have very strong opinions about it. Being able to approach a problem like that, looking through the lens of mathematics, of physics, of art, of history, by being able to approach these topics from a very complex way of thought, you come up with much more comprehensive answers and much more valuable answers. So again, this multiliteracy education, being able to have all of your classes sort of address the same problem and then just shape the actual work, the actual, drilling of math problems. You give them something to apply those math problems to suddenly, and they mean more. This is, again, one of those key concepts, and it's part of what we've been focusing on here at the Time Repair and with our new program, Zero to Civ. Next, I want to talk to you about technological competence. Step number 5 is ICT competence, or IT competence, where I come from in the States. Again, the whole idea is that we've got a lot of technical tools, a lot of different processes that we can go through that can vastly increase not only our own productivity, but the number of things that we can do. When I was growing up in the 1980s, and I know I'm dating myself there, but we didn't have everything you needed in your pocket to record a television show, but now we've got all of it in our phones. I mean, the TikToks that I see are just ridiculous. They're amazing. They've got great content, and it's easy enough to do editing on the fly. Complex, amazing editing on the fly. You want to start a band instead? Great. You've got everything you need. And when you start looking at it a little harder, we've got access to all of the things you need to do product development, rapid prototyping, advanced design, computer-aided design for that matter, things that would have taken us years of development back when I was growing up can now be done in a matter of days and have a final product. This is amazing technology, but a lot of the adults, a lot of the teachers who are going through the basic instruction, they don't know about these tools. They don't feel that they have access to them. And that is an absolute shame. This is, again, one of the things that can be fixed through these 7 core competencies. You start to introduce this technology, you start to show how it can be used, and you can do so much more. So, next, you want to look at competence required for working life and entrepreneurship. So, this is one of those 7 core competencies. It's the 6th one. If you can teach a student that, the project, the hobby that they're working on their own time is something that they could actually build into a business. And not just as an idea, but as a practical concept. You give them the tools and you tell them, this is how you make a company or a nonprofit or a project. This is how you make a change in the world. Suddenly you have empowered them in a way that no one ever has, in many cases. This is an amazing amount of strength, and it's something that my generation didn't get enough of. So I can't rave enough about the concept, about empowering this next generation to start making the changes that they already want to make. So instead of having people strike for the future, let's have them build for the future. They can strike too. I fully support that, but let's do some practical work as well. Number 7, the final real competency that, again, adults need to be aware of too, so that they can continue their own lifelong learning. It's participation. It's involvement in the lives of others. Half of that is listening. Being able to ask someone what's bothering them, and then really, really listen so that we can start coming up with solutions together, so that we can make sure that those in our lives are not being disenfranchised just because we want to catch whatever's on TV next. There's no reason for us to be waiting around on any of these things. And I hope that you have enjoyed this brief presentation of the 7 core competencies. I would like for all of you, if you have the time and energy, to reach out to someone who you know, maybe a student, maybe a teacher, maybe a parent. And I'd like you to pass on this video. I'd like you to check out our YouTube channel, check out some of the other videos we've got on there. Play, learn, and keep growing. And if any of you are interested in learning more about our new project, Zero to Civ, which the Time Repair Corporation is working on with the Canadian Open Learning Academy and Enlighten Energy Systems in Canada, then reach out to us. Come and find out what we're doing, because we're putting together a program that will produce the very best of the Finnish educational method in a concept, in a way, a package that is approachable and adoptable in North America and throughout the rest of the world. This is what we're doing, and we would love to hear from you if you're interested in either learning more or being a part of what we're doing. Feel free to visit us at our website, timerepaircorp.com, which you can see on the screen here. Make sure to like the video, make sure to send it to friends, subscribe, and absolutely share it through LinkedIn, Facebook, your social media poison of choice. Go out there, have a fantastic morning and night and day. It's a big world. It's got to be one of those things wherever you are. And from Helsinki, Finland, good night.